everyone, welcome to another session of My Disability and and I'm still your one and only Eva, and I am welcoming you all to another beautiful year. It is a year where you're going to smile. If you lost your smile last year, definitely you will find that smile this year. Trust me. So in today's episode of My Disability and we're going to be talking about etiquette when interacting with persons with disability. Now, if you notice in Africa, they tend to have this mindset about persons with disability. They believe that people who have disabilities should either be hidden or they should be dead. They do not have high regard to people with disability. So it is assumed that if you have a disability, you should live a timid life, you should live a boring life, you should hide, you shouldn't socialize, you shouldn't have a life that you could call your own. And that has really made it kind of difficult for persons with disability to mingle in the society, to have a normal life. So today I'm going to be talking to you about some etiquette when interacting with persons with disability. Stay tuned. So to etiquette number one, whenever you see a person with disability, it is very important and respectful that you address that person as a person and not as someone with a disability. What I'm trying to say here is the first thing you should notice about someone is that they are human and know that they have a disability. We tend to want to notice the weakness in people, the flaws in people, the things that people are not doing well, or probably the way people are doing things and are not the way it should be. We should remove our eyes, our thoughts, and our thinking from how people should do things and see them as who they are, as human beings, as equals, because we are all equals. Now, when you see someone with disability, it is very rude to address them as handicapped, as disabled, as crippled, as whatever word, derogatory word you have to address them as. It is very insulting and it is very demeaning. So we should change it rather to address them as persons with disability. If you do not understand or know much about their disability, then you can go and ask them. There's no need to be trying to act all protective and act like, oh, I'm not trying to hurt his or her feelings. I think you hurt my feelings if you just stand afar and stare at me. I think that's the rudest thing you can ever do. If you see me and you're confused on what to call me, then just approach me and ask me. I will be willing to tell you, and every other person with disability will be willing to tell you. Number two, when you see an adult with a disability, do not speak to them as babies. You should address them and you should treat them and you should speak to them as adults. You don't come to me as a full-grown adult and for the fact that I have a disability, you start using baby voices and start, oh, are you sure you're okay? I hope your body is fine. That is very, very rude. You should approach or address people with disability as adults if they are adults. If they are kids, then using baby voice is perfect. But for adults, you should use the real voice you have. For crying out loud. We are not children, we are adults. So you talk to us like adults, and also you allow persons with disability to make their decisions. So caretakers of those with disability have this notion that because someone has a disability, they do not have the right mind to make perfect decisions. No, let them make the decisions. What makes us humans is our free will. What makes us human is our ability to make choices. If you take that power to make choices from those persons, then you are practically living the life for that person. So as a caretaker, as whoever you are, with person with disability, always give them a room to make decisions, to make choices. They are humans and they would actually surprise you. Number three, when you meet a person with disability, we always um, have this feeling that they could practically never amount to anything. So if as someone with disability and I say I want to become a particular kind of thing, you start having this kind of crazy fear. Oh, are you sure you survive? Are you sure you do this? Are you sure you sometimes when you love someone, you could love someone so much that you could actually limit them from succeeding. Most times, to show that you really care about a person, to show that you really want someone to be independent, you have to push them to the world. It's amazing if you could stay from afar and watch them, and whenever they are about to fall, you're there to catch them. But never ever hinder them from moving on, from mingling, and from taking calculated risks. So let's always encourage those who have disabilities. They are human beings too. They have emotions, they have feelings, and they can speak. So let's be nice to them. Another one is when you see people with disability, they always term them as arrogant. Now, arrogance doesn't have anything to do with disability. Both people who have disability and people who do not have disability can be arrogant. There are some people with disability who are very arrogant. I've met most of them like that. Very rude, and they could really make you feel bad about yourself. And there are also people who do not have disabilities who can be very arrogant, rude, and disrespectful. But that doesn't mean when someone with a disability is outspoken or expressive, you term them as arrogant. The reason why we term them as arrogant is the fact that we perceive them as weak people, people who are not able to do anything or say anything. And the moment they go beyond your expectations, you term them as arrogant. They are not arrogant, they are only trying to be expressive, they are only trying to be outspoken, they are only trying to express themselves in the language best known to them. Another thing is never ever say, she's a disabled person, he's a normal person. That is very horrible. People with disabilities are normal people. It's different when you say, okay, they have alien faces or whatever. But as long as we're all humans, we're all humans. I wasn't born with a tail, or I wasn't born with elf elf ears or porcupine nose. So that means I'm still human, and so are all the people out there. So as long as you see people with disabilities, never term them as disabled people and people who do not have disabilities as normal people. If we were to bring it down to who is normal, then nobody actually is normal, because people who have disabilities, visible disabilities, are just like, okay, this is my disability, I have only 2 fingers or so. So now you can actually see their disability. But when you see most people whose disabilities aren't quite visible, we tend to term them as normal. Well, everybody's normal in that sense. In that sense, everybody's normal. So when dressing people, you should never say she has a disability and the other person she's normal. We are all normal. Disability or no disability, we are all normal. Last one for today is never ever say, when you see me, I know people tend to, when they see me, the next thing that comes to their mind, they might not voice it out. The next thing that comes to their mind is, at least I'm better than her. So we tend to see persons with disabilities as inspiration to live on. That's wrong. You don't objectify us. We are human beings too, and we all have our own differences. We all have our own imperfections. We all have our own flaws. Purposely, in some cases, that person with disability might be prettier than you who do not have a disability. So that person doesn't say, thank God I'm finer than her. So we should actually kill that mindset. When you see someone with disability, it's good to admire them. It's good to be kind to them and nice to them, but never ever even think that, oh God, thank you. Thank you that I have 2 legs. Thank you that I have 2 hands. At least my life is better than hers. Oh no, sweetheart, your life is not better than mine. Mm-mm. Your life is not better than mine. Neither is your life better than the others. So your life is better when you make the best out of it. Disabled or not, what makes life count is how you live it, how you make it to be suitable for you. So clear those mindsets that you have when you come in contact with someone with disabilities. So that is my etiquette. Stay tuned for more from me, my disability and I. Please do not forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video. You don't know who you might be saving. You don't know who you might be educating. So don't be stingy. I mean, it's just a click away. It's not even up to 10 seconds. So just click on the like, click on the share, and always, always be kind.